Hello everyone, back to unpopular demand. I am making another YouTube video. This is going to be my first rant. Yeah, I wanted to do a rant. I know there's like loads of ranters on YouTube saying, oh, this person's bad, that person's bad, this is what I think. I'm not doing it on a particular person, I'm doing it on an idea. This is the idea of cringe compilations. They kind of became popular about a few years ago, maybe 2016, 2015. A new kind of video format came out called Cringe Compilations. It's basically videos, a collection of videos or a compilation of videos that are supposedly cringe-worthy. Basically like one of those try not to laugh videos and deja vu drift compilations, which I love to watch because Initial D. So anyway, I'm gonna talk about why I don't like these cringe compilations. Anyway, I've got multiple reasons, and I need a new mouse because the wire looks like rats chewed through it. I've got multiple reasons why I hate cringe compilations. The first reason is that they require very little effort. Like about a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever, reaction channels came under fire from having very little effort put into their videos, and they were basically criticized for taking someone else's video and just putting that in their own video, and all they really did was add their face in it, and they put very little effort into it. They added very little. They basically took someone else's video and took the credit for it, and they didn't get demonetized. No, they made money off of it. I swear, one of the people I'm watching, someone who I know on YouTube, he basically comments on most of my videos, Captain Neckbeard. I'm sure I've seen one of his videos in a cringe compilation. It was a video of him playing accordion topless. I found it quite funny, to be honest. But that video itself had about a few hundred views. Many cringe compilations I've seen, with that one included, I'm sure it had over 1,000. Well, basically they're taking the credit for taking other people's videos and like re-uploading it. And all they're really doing is they're just editing these videos together. They're actually adding very little. And these people, the people who watch them, they don't give credit to the original video source because they're looking for cringe, and so they come to the cringe compilation for said footage. Basically, the cringe compilation gets all the credit, whereas the original video goes kind of unnoticed. If anything, then there'll be lots of hate directed towards that video. Which brings me on to my next point. The idea of cringe compilations is pretty damn negative. If the person who uploads them does credit the original, people are likely going to go to that link and say something like, such and such's cringe compilation brought me here, or, oh, this is so cringy, oh, pass the bleach and all that, oh, this is really bad. They're basically criticizing the original video by calling it cringy and all that. Whereas the cringe compilation, which is featured in, gets praise, praise for going out of their way to take a video and put it in their own video, which anyone can do. But if all you're doing is just taking a video and putting it in another video, it would take me like minutes at the most. A lot of people put days, especially if it's like an animation video, which often get put in cringe compilations. They take days, weeks, months even to create, depending on how much effort is put into it. These people who make cringe compilations, less than a day. Maybe an hour at the most. It would take an hour at the most, depending on how much footage they have. The longest, the thing that would take the longest would be the rendering of the video, like in the software, whatever you use, Windows Movie Maker, Adobe Premiere. The idea of cringe compilations, because it's negative, is that it discourages people to be creative. Like, because a lot of the videos in these cringe compilations are just people trying to be creative, trying to like show what they can do. I mean, yeah, you might find it cringy, but it's much more creative than what the person creating the cringe compilation is doing, where all they're doing is just, like I said, uploading someone else's video, putting it as their own. Whereas the people who made the original video, they're going out of their way to try something new, be creative. Like animation memes, whether it's like a low quality MS Paint animation meme or whatever, it's still like more creative than what these cringe compilations are doing. And you know, you've got to start somewhere, whether it's on MS Paint or doodling in your sketchbook and flipping the pages. I commend you for that, because you know, that's impressive. You've got to start somewhere, and I've read comments, or I've heard people say that they're afraid to try animation because they're afraid it'll get put in a cringe compilation and they don't want to get laughed at and all that. That's like an issue. That's the problem. It's discouraging people to be creative. It's like these cringe compilations, they're saying you can only go on YouTube if you're like a fucking gaming channel or whatever, or where all they do is, you know, they just sit and play games and film themselves playing games. I can do that. I have done that. I've played the Room Flash game. Whereas people like PewDiePie, they get millions of views just because he sits in front of his computer, plays Happy Wheels and screams. But yeah, I guess that's in high demand. Yeah, another point I wanted to make is not necessarily to do with the compilation itself, but it's the comments. Like the people who watch these cringe compilations. I don't know whether it's intentional or not, but I find the comments much more cringy than the actual cringe compilation. Most of it is just unfunny, overused bleach jokes like, pass the bleach, anyone wants some bleach, I'm selling bleach for half price or whatever. Bleach jokes are overused and unfunny, in my opinion. People respect people for making bleach jokes, whereas these people who make animation memes or whatever they're doing to get them in the compilation, they put much more effort into what they do, and they get laughed at, or they get ridiculed, or they get the KYS comment, which is a thing that a lot of little kids like to do. Oh, don't forget the sexual comments as well, the obligatory. As of 2016, I think they've been in every comment section of every verified YouTuber, you know, with a little tick next to their name. Like one of the popular ones was Fist Me Daddy. You know, the whole daddy term became mainstream about a year or two ago, and I think my final point I wanted to make is, what is the definition of cringe? Like, it seems to have lost its meaning thanks to its popularity on the internet. It's basically one of those words that's kind of been overused so much that it's lost its meaning. Last night, while just browsing around YouTube, I watched an SJW cringe compilation. And I expected some fucking gender stuff, things that you would find on BuzzFeed or whatever. Instead, it was like footage of, it was just non-stop aggression. It was like people on the streets who were like beating each other up, having fights, just being really aggressive. A lot of violence as well. You know, it was like Hillary Clinton supporters just beating the shit out of Trump supporters because of their opinion. It was quite sad, really, because it was like watching a nation crumble. I thought to myself while watching it, how is the US still a first world country with all this shit that's going on? And I just forgot, while watching it, I was so shocked at it that I forgot it was a cringe compilation. And I'm like, how is this cringe? This isn't cringe. This is serious stuff. This is brutality. It's people attacking each other over political opinions. That's what the world has come to now. There's even stories about people pepper spraying little kids. There's like news stories in this same video of little kids getting pepper sprayed in the eyes just because their parents supported Donald Trump. They looked no over 10, in fact they looked about 7 or 8. And they were in tears, they were crying because they got sprayed. And even if it is, you know, your own personal opinion, first of all, that's unacceptable just because you support them. And second of all, because they're children, they probably have very little information and input on who they support, and it was probably just their parents who support this person. And these SJWs, they're like, oh, your child supports Donald Trump, I'm going to spray your child. It's just pretty sad, really. Anyway, I'm going off the beaten path. The definition of cringe is pretty much gone in these cringe compilations. And most of the time, I think the people who upload them, they don't know the definition of cringe. They're just taking an idea and putting it in just because it's cringy. Like, I've seen furry cringe compilations where all it is just people having a good time in a fursuit. They're not like yiffing each other or anything, but the video, it's like it's only there just because that the person is a furry. And I remember there's one video of this guy in a cringe compilation. He was saying, I came out as a furry to my best friend and now he's no longer friends with me. He sounded quite sad about it. And these cringe compilation person, whatever you want to call them, they basically thought, oh, keyword furry, gotta put that in a compilation. If you watch furry videos or you know fursuiters, famous fursuiters or anything, you'll probably know Telephone, the Dutch angel dragon. I've seen convention footage of her put in a cringe compilation just because she's wearing a fursuit. And it's really just like, it's something to do with furry. That warrants you being in a cringe compilation, you know? Like, even just the mention of furry or the fact that you're saying, I'm a furry, you need to be in a cringe comp. So yeah, I'm adding this in at the end, like after I recorded all that I had to say, because I came across another cringe video. It wasn't a compilation, it was just a video, but this guy uploaded a video titled Cringe, 11-year-old EDM star or whatever. Basically, there was this news story in Australia about this kid who became a DJ at the age of 11. I don't like EDM music. Well, it depends. I don't know if you heard that, but my flatmate above me is like really fat and he just made a loud banging noise. Really heavy. But yeah, anyway, this kid from Australia got recognition for becoming a DJ at the age of 11, and despite me not liking EDM, I thought it was pretty cool, you know. He's just a kid, but he's doing something he loves. And this guy, he downloaded that news video or whatever, and he re-uploaded it, putting it in a negative light by calling it cringeworthy. He put the word cringe in the thumbnail, and he put the word cringe in the title. Basically, it's cringeworthy because he's young, he's a kid, and if you're a kid, then that means you're cringeworthy. Yeah, lots of people in the comments of that video, they were all praising the guy just for taking the video and uploading it as his own, but in a negative light, in a negative perception. He didn't add anything other than the whole, I think one thing he did add was he edited over some of the audio from this guy who was supporting the kid, and he edited it in iDubbbz saying, "Kill yourself, ooh ha ha, kill yourself, that's funny." And again, although a lot of people hate EDM music because it's kind of shit, it's still more creative, it's still better than nothing, it's still something, whereas these cringe compilations, they're pretty much nothing. Yeah, for some reason Premiere deleted the original outro I had before I recorded that bit about the kid DJ, so I'm just recording mine again. This has been Kairos the Wolf ranting about cringe compilations. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe if you can, but most of all, thank you for watching, and until then, bye for now. Either it deleted it itself or I accidentally deleted it and I'm an idiot. Probably the latter.